You are listening to Golden River Underground, Session 9. We've been away from the main campaign for a while now, so check out our interlude episode for a recap on what's happened so far.
Okay, and with that, we pick up on Saturday, October 7th, 1995. So we will start with Tim. So Tim, you left the office pretty late last night, having prepared to write this big report that you're way behind on. When you wake up on Saturday morning, when do you wake up? What do you do?
It's the weekend. Probably wake up at like 8:30. And since I don't have to be in work at a specific time, although I had resolved to go in, I'm taking my time, getting ready. Probably swing by Stella's, get some breakfast.
Okay. So you walk into Stella's. It's Saturday morning. This is really one of their busiest times. You sign in on the clipboard, and you sit down in your regular booth. What are you eating?
Just I don't know, pancakes. In a pancake mood today.
What kind of pancakes?
They have chocolate chips in them.
Oh, not a big fan.
Really? I love chocolate chip. Chocolate chip waffles is my go-to Waffle House meal on the rare occasions that I'm at Waffle House.
I'm a blueberry or a banana man myself.
But banana's pretty good. It's a chocolate chip day.
So your waiter criticizes your choice, tries to talk you out of it.
Well, they're unsuccessful.
So, all right. So you eat your breakfast around like 8:45. You're finished up and ready to head over to the office.
Yeah, so I'm gonna walk in, and the plan is just to buckle down, probably work for at least a couple hours and probably a full working day. Grinding out this report, and I'm expecting that since I'm the only one in the office, not going to be any distractions. I can probably get a lot more done today than I would be able to get in a normal working day.
So, given that Monster and Red Bull, I think, hadn't been invented yet, what is Tim's grind situation when you show up and you just need to bang out some long task? What is your snack situation?
I get another order of chocolate chip pancakes to go, and then I also have them fill up a coffee growler. And then, yeah.
Okay.
And then it works out well because I don't even have to walk all the way to the bathroom because my boss's desk is right there.
Right. Okay, so you have you've worked up a good shit.
Mm-hmm. And the one from last night still there.
Right, of course.
Although I think we established that it wasn't actually able to get into the office, so that's fine.
Well, and we established it was probably a bad idea because she would know it was you.
Yeah,
Yeah, you two were the only people there.
Maybe it was a ghost. Maybe Donnelly came back and ghost shit on her desk.
I mean, that's probably what she would have assumed.
Mm-hmm. But no.
Yeah, okay, so you get to work. You already framed up this report yesterday, and now you are going through and actually writing it. And I think we said this is it's like a full day's worth of work.
Yeah, it would take. Yeah, we said it was going to take a day or two, but
yeah.
So
what you said was the night before you left the office, you had organized everything, outlined it, got all the data, whatever charts you needed, and then today was supposed to be the weekend was supposed to be about actually writing the report and then editing it and getting it in a state that's ready to present.
What professional skills do you have? Do you have science? Anything?
Let's see here. I have computer science. I have craft electrician. I have science mathematics. I got a 40.
Okay.
I got a 40 in it.
Yeah, give me a.
He also has a heavy machinery skill.
Math roll.
I'm gonna roll in my Spalted Dolphin dice tray. Everybody.
Oh wow! Could you talk to us for a minute about Spalted Dolphin?
Oh
wait, no, we can't.
We can't do that during the. Yeah.
Yeah.
Save that for the table talk.
Well, until they
That
start
is-
actually sponsoring us, it doesn't matter.
That is a normal pass.
A normal pass. Okay, so you think you can get this done today? You think you
Nice.
can get this done by dinner? Like you get into a good groove. You set yourself up pretty well yesterday, and so even if you stop briefly to, I assume you pre-syruped those waffles
Oh yeah, they're
before you
soggy.
came.
They are not good by the time I eat them.
Okay. When you're, yeah, as long as you don't take too long with those, you'll be able to get through this by dinner time.
Excellent.
Okay. And with that, I'm going to pivot over to Simon. So, I think the last thing Simon did yesterday was participate in the search for Thorley.
Right up until the point where it got turned off, yeah.
Right. And then
I went to
you
go check
called it after
the
that.
duty roster at work to see if I was on this weekend, and I wasn't. And then I went home.
Okay. So, Saturday morning. Go.
As usual, woke up pretty early. I hadn't drank the night before, so I've just got like this killer headache. And I stumble over to the fridge and grab a beer. It's like 5:30 in the morning, so it's time to drink.
What's your morning beer of choice?
It's the same cheap stuff that I keep around the house all the time.
It's not a dingling.
It might be dangling, but it's probably no more than like 6% in the morning. Gotta keep it light.
Sure.
So,
Okay. So you wake up, you have your beer.
Yeah, I got my beer, take a shower. I don't have anything on the agenda today except this afternoon. Right, Saturday nights are when I go have dinner with my brother and sister-in-law and their family. And then Sunday morning is when I go to church at Two Kings of Kings Vineyard with them. So, and then
The dinner, is it a potluck? Do they normally make dinner?
it's them making dinner, and like in theory, I should bring something. Like I should bring food to contribute to the project, but like I never do. Like I'll bring them a bottle of wine or something, but I never cook for it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you finish your shower. It's now still early in the morning.
Super early. Sun is yet to rise. And I'm just kind of like farting around, like not really sure what I should be doing.
I mean, does Simon have hobbies?
I mean, his main hobby is golf, but there's no way that the golf course is open yet. And I have a tea time for tomorrow because I usually have them on Sunday.
What, do you have one of those little like putter practice things? It's like the roll of AstroTurf with the hole.
That if I was a CEO, I would have in my office. No,
Right.
I don't, because I'm pretty serious about golf, and that seems like kind of a joke to me. So
You're not just some fucking scrub CEO.
yeah, I'm trying to be good at golf, not just play golf. Other than that, like I was kind of expecting to have to do things this weekend because I thought the search would extend into Saturday, and then they got turned off last night, and I don't have work today. So, like I didn't have plans. So what I might do is go to Salmon Amateur, the sporting goods shop down at the mall, and or down by the mall, and just do some shopping today. Now, obviously, I've got some time between now and then, but I might just
So the mall doesn't open until 8.
Actually, that's pretty early for a mall to open. So
Well, so the main doors open at 8. Individual stores
don't open until like
at
11.
their own hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I probably won't go over until closer to noon. So I take the time to just kind of sit around and kind of reflect on what's been going on this week, take stock, and
Wow.
it was a pretty stressful week overall. Like,
You know what? Why don't you give me an intelligence check?
all
Oh
right.
my.
I have a 55 in intelligence. That's a fail.
Okay. Yeah, you feel pretty good about how you've done.
Yeah. I mean, I think that given how weird the week was, I don't think I given the knowledge I had, there's not like a ton I could have done much better. Like knowing what I know now, there are things I would change, but
Yeah, there are no obvious leads that you haven't followed up on.
You
think
Simon's aware. He'd even outlined some of the leads that he has yet to follow up with. Again, his main concern is those two agents. We've got their car impounded, I've got a SPB out for them. The chief personally said that he was going to look into it. I've given him the details, and I've got a plan of action for if the FBI doesn't get back to us on whether Johnson is a member of the bureau. So, everything else, I just don't really. It's not that high a priority for me when it comes to these cases. So, I don't know. I even knowing that I deliberately didn't follow up on some things and then probably failed to even recognize that I should follow up on other things, I'm fine with what's going on. I'm fine with where we're at. That being said, it was still like a pretty stressful week overall. Simon doesn't show it because he's a professional. But it's been a weird week for sure, and he's just trying to kind of think it through and make sure that he's still doing okay, because you got to look out for number one.
So after he gets out of the shower and he's standing looking in the mirror with his beer, saying, "You did a good job this week. You followed every lead. You did everything you could," and just generally like soothes himself, talks himself up. He'll do that clear through until 8 o'clock, when it's time to go to the mall.
Like I said, I'm probably not going to go till closer to noon because things aren't going to be actually open.
Well, you actually know that Salmon Amateur likes to cater to the early birds.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they've got a hunting crowd, a fishing crowd, right? So they'd show up early. Yeah, I'm gonna go over there first and do some shopping.
All right. So Golden River Mall. I think we've passed by it several times in the campaign so far, but have not actually gone inside. It is Riverfront Mall, I should say.
Yeah, not Salmon River. It's Golden River.
I didn't say Salmon River.
Oh, I thought you said Salmon River.
I said Golden River Mall.
Okay.
And then I said Riverfront Mall.
I got it.
Salmon River
it's
Gold.
So the Salmon Mall is pretty new. It was just put in a couple of years ago. So it's big. Almost immediately, all of the storefronts filled up, and it has a wide variety of interesting places. I'm trying to remember what we put in there.
We didn't really put much of anything. There's a food court, and then there's just normal stores.
There is a food court. You're right. There's definitely a Spencer's Gifts.
Sure.
In the 90s. There's right next to it, adjoining it, there is one of your favorite driving ranges, drunk driving.
Right. So indoor driving range, right?
No, think like kind of a Topgolf place, but not gamified the way Topgolf is. So it's a multi-level range.
Maybe go relax.
And they serve your favorite cheap beers there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a pretty good deal if you're a member, which I imagine you are.
Yeah, I might do that for lunch.
But as I said, one of the first stores to open each day is Salmon Amateur, which is a large hunting and fishing store. They have all kinds of outdoor gear in general. What are you looking to pick up?
I'm gonna pick up a rifle, like a hunting rifle. Which it's 1995 in South Dakota, so I have to imagine that I can walk out the store same day with it, no problem.
Right, so 1995, you're mostly looking at muzzle loaders.
Right, yeah. I need to pick up a lot of the little powder baggies that I shove down the breech before I put the bullet in.
Yeah. and it's got that like weird funnel-looking thing on the front.
Yeah, rifling
like a
hadn't been
blunderbuss.
invented yet,
Yeah.
too.
Right. Yeah, because we're shooting lead balls here.
Right. Right.
No, yeah,
That,
it's,
like, take your
it's
entire arm off
1995
when you get hit.
in South Dakota. I'm sure you can buy anything you want.
Yeah.
And since it's a rifle, you don't have to wait.
Right.
So what are you looking at?
I'm looking for standard. I forget what the nomenclature is. I'm thinking everything in like NATO terms. It's whatever the equivalent of like 5.56 is. Like not a big round, just pretty standard hunting rifle with a hunting scope.
Sure. Okay, so like just a bolt action rifle that you would take like deer hunting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So you're able to pick something like that up for a few $100. If you go for like a mid-range model.
Yeah, and then I'll pick up some ammunition as well,
Sure.
like 100 rounds or so.
Yeah. All right.
And there's a shooting range somewhere around here, so probably.
Oh, you can also shoot at drunk driving.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's a multi-purpose facility.
Yeah.
So this afternoon, after I get some lunch, I'm gonna go get this thing zeroed.
Oh no, hold on. We had I thought we'd come up with a clever name for a shooting range, but we hadn't.
I don't think we did. We said that there was like an indoor sports shooting range, but
I'm gonna say drunk driving has a couple of different things that you're allowed to do, and one of them is shoot.
Everything that's a range, it's got like cooking ranges. It's got a driving range. It's got a shooting range.
It's also like a cattle ranch.
Right. Yeah. It's everything that could be described
Right.
as a range.
When I'm looking for a place to shoot, I definitely want to pick a place that has a drunk in the name.
Yeah.
It's a good pairing.
But anyway,
Well, they've learned their lesson at drunk driving, and the partitions between like the stations that you're able to occupy are long and bulletproof.
yeah,
Do you also have to wear a bulletproof vest when you enter the premises?
just your
You
protection.
don't, but you can rent one.
Right, safety feature. But anyway, so the rifle and the ammo and the scope is all I wanted to pick up at Salmon Amateur, so I'll just throw those in the trunk.
You drove here.
Yeah. I knew I was buying things, so I wanted some trunk space. And then I'll check my watch. It's probably like 9:30 or something when since I had to register the. Oh yeah, how does that? I never bought a firearm in real life. Do I have to register a hunting rifle? Or did I do that when I bought it?
I don't believe that you do, but I don't actually know.
I don't either. So let's just say that
So,
I've done whatever admin I needed to do for it.
Handguns, yes. Rifles like that, I don't think so.
Yeah. So we're done with that. We'll say, and then I'll head over to the mall, see what's open, just kind of walk around until it's lunchtime, and then I'm
Sure.
off to drunk driving to eat lunch, do the driving range, and then once I'm done with that, then I'm gonna be zeroing the rifle.
Okay. Yeah, so there's plenty to look at here. I mean, there's bookstores, craft stores, toy stores, clothing stores, a bunch of stuff I imagine Simon is not that interested in.
I do need some more braided belts.
Yeah, there's a braid store.
Yeah.
So it sells. Everything in this mall seems to be like weirdly themed.
Oh yeah.
So anything to do with braid, like you can buy like steel braid cable. You can buy things for like braiding hair. But of course they have braided leather belts.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up a new brown and black one of each.
Okay, but not like one that's brown braided together with black, so it goes with everything.
No, too practical. Yeah, I don't think they make reversible braided belts. That doesn't really make any sense.
No, it's not. It's not reversible. It has both black and brown strands.
No, I don't like that. But yeah, I'm browsing, picking up this and that, and then just waiting for lunchtime.
Yeah, well, lunchtime arrives.
I'm over to drunk driving. I get whatever the special is, and with some beer, and then probably ignore the food, drink the beer, and hit the driving range.
Right, so I guess you probably go back to your car first and get the rifle.
Yes.
And so you're waiting outside that steel gate thing when they raise it. Mm-hmm. You're there, just standing there with a gun. I'm not doing the gun yet. I'm gonna go in with my clubs first. To do the... You don't just throw the rifle in the club carrier?
In my golf bag? No.
Yeah.
I'll leave it in the car until I'm done.
Modify your gun so that the stock is like a 5-iron.
Right.
Smart.
Okay. All right. So you're standing out there with your golf clubs then, and no gun. The gate comes up. And the proprietor, Jimbo, you believe his name is, although he doesn't wear a name tag, even though you think he's probably supposed to.
Hey, Jimbo, what's going on?
Not too much.
Cool. Let me add.
Okay. And he looks around. There's obviously no one else here, other than a couple of his employees. But he still checks his clipboard, like he's trying to figure out which spot to put you in. Mm-hmm. And it takes him a minute.
Jimbo, you can put me on any lane. It doesn't really matter.
All right. Why don't you go to lane 5?
Okay, thanks. And then I imagine they come by and take my order, or do I have to go somewhere?
This is one of your gripes with drunk driving, is that given the setup, given that it's a little table in this lane, and they put a menu out there for you, you would think they could just bring you the food. Mm-hmm. But the menu is actually just something for you to look at so that you can walk back to the main area and order food yourself.
Yeah, that's a pain.
Which you then have to wait for.
What they should do is have one of those tube systems like you would at a bank. There, it's got the vacuum tubes. And so you can
Right, they just fill up a vacuum tube with nachos and then shoot it to you.
Exactly. I should at least be able to shoot my order to them that way.
Yeah, Jimbo indicates to you that there is a suggestion box on the front desk.
But it's just a shredder that's a suggestion box.
It looks like it's a trash can.
Yeah.
So they have a couple of different things you can order. You can order pizza. You can order wings. You can order booze, pretzels. It's like standard bowling alley fare.
Yeah, which is just the silliest thing ever. Every time he comes here, he forgets that the food is specifically designed to be greasy and get your hands all messy, which is obviously not something you want to do when you're touching your golf clubs.
Beignets.
Yeah. Just syrup in a cup.
Yeah.
You think you could get one of those hats that has the canisters on it, and that they're just filled with syrup, and you can just slurp on it while you play?
Yeah, that sounds great. Anyway, I'm gonna get the pretzels and a couple beers.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the pretzels are heavily buttered. They're very slippery.
Of course they are. Yeah.
And
it's a big Auntie Anne's.
Yes. So you pick those up, and you take them to your lane.
Yeah.
And now you know that if you I'm trying to, what is a good drive distance?
If you're good, 250 yards.
Okay. So if
you're
can,
a pro, 300.
If you can get one of your balls out to 300 yards, and you can put a bullet through it.
Free membership for life.
One free beer.
Oh, one free beer. Okay.
Yeah. One of your beers is free. So you bear that in mind because it's it's good for the wallet.
Yeah, I definitely am not going to hit a ball 300 yards. I'm not particularly strong. My technique is really good, and I can definitely hit 250. But like I don't work out at all, and so, like the strength right now is the limiting factor.
They do offer smaller balls.
I don't think that would help.
Which make in my world, it makes it easier to drive farther.
I think that would actually make it harder.
But harder to shoot.
Cool.
Also, the grass is pretty tall.
Pretty tall, yeah. So
Yeah.
you can't find it. But yeah. So I'll do that, and then once I feel good and lubricated, and feel like I've warmed up pretty well, and I'm hitting my stride with I'm doing everything. I got my driver, I got my irons, I got my hybrid, I got my woods. So, I'm doing a little bit of everything, but, I'll probably hit that for like 2 hours. And then once it's around like 1 in the afternoon, I'll go grab my rifle and head to the shooting range.
Yeah, so the place slowly fills up. It's a little chilly today, but it's pretty nice.
Do I see the chief there?
You do not see the chief there. Yeah, so at some point you finish up with golf, and then what did you say you were gonna do? You're gonna like take the clubs back to your car and swap it out for the rifle?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so when you return, right now, doesn't seem like, well, actually, almost everyone is golfing. You can hear one person shooting.
Okay.
And it's pretty loud. And they're going through a lot of rounds.
Okay.
And it appears to be whoever is in the lane, like a couple down from you. You can't see the person unless you specifically walk over there.
I'll walk over and say hi.
Okay. So you walk over. And what you see is a man with no hearing protection. With two of like the big 6-inch Colt Pythons.
Okay.
Like big, huge revolvers.
What are those 44s?
I think you have a couple of options. I think 44 is one of them.
Okay.
And they both have those weird scopes on them.
Yeah. Is that a thing?
Like not a. I want to say it's like a red dot or something. It's like a. And he is.
Yeah. No, you can. It's usually
alternating
44s,
fire.
I think they have that.
Shooting at what looks to be a pretty small golf ball that's maybe like 100 yards out. You don't think he's anywhere near hitting it.
Sure.
But does he look cool?
No. It looks terrifying. And you realize this is the chief.
Oh my god.
That's his weapon of choice.
He's
so
insane.
You recognize right away.
I'll wait until he's expended the rounds in the cylinders before approaching him to talk.
Well, so as soon as he expends them, though, he's
speed loading
very quickly.
Yeah.
He's got speed loaders, and he just starts right back up again.
Okay.
But
you
he
hear
blows
him
through
under
that
his breath
very quickly.
say, "This reload time is exhilarating."
Yeah, which with the speed loaders doesn't quite make sense, but so I'll move to intercept as soon as he is out of these cylinders, because I realize my window is actually quite small.
Okay. Yeah, so he finishes up and turns and sees you. He puts his revolvers down on the table and picks up this large slice of pizza, which he drops on account of it being so slippery. Picks it up again and starts eating it and just looks at you.
Chief, good afternoon.
How's it going, detective?
It's going okay, Chief. Hey, recommendation. You might want to put your ear pro on. Those pythons are really loud.
What?
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. It's bad for your hearing, Chief.
The dividers between lanes are like cinder blocks. Mm-hmm. It's really boomy in here.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, it's like every shot is 5 shots worth of hearing damage. Yeah, Chief. It's that the science is the verdict is in. Gunshots bad for hearing.
Uh-huh. Hey, what did you find when you searched the Bronco?
Oh, I hadn't searched it yet. I was waiting for it to get back to the station first.
What?
Anyway, I haven't looked yet, Chief.
He shakes his head in disappointment. And he says, "Hey, so I looked into those guys.
Yeah, what'd you find, Chief?
I'm having trouble coming up with anything, but I don't think they're actually FBI. I don't think they're federal."
Yeah. No, that's not super surprising, given what they were doing. That would be pretty reckless for an actual federal agent of any kind to do. So, that's not too surprising, but I don't know. It's going to be pretty tough to figure out who these guys are then.
So wait, if you haven't searched their car, why are you here?
It's my day off. So the techs were supposed to go over the truck and dust for prints and collect the evidence from that.
Yeah, I want you to do that.
To dust for prints and do the lab tech job?
To investigate the car.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Now?
Soon.
Today.
Whatever. And I walk away.
He looks at his revolver and then looks back at you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go zero my rifle.
Okay.
I will briefly head to the office because what we've determined so far is that like cops don't actually work in this town. Only Simon does. And so like they don't case scenes. They don't do anything. I guess they just sit around in the office all day while Simon does all the work. So it doesn't surprise him that they have not yet done anything with the... honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if they actually failed to impound it, and that it's still sitting out at the lot north of town.
Here's something to consider, though. Is Simon doing all the work because nobody else does? Or is nobody else doing any work because they know Simon's going to?
Because the chief tells Simon to do everything and doesn't expect work from anybody else.
Maybe you're causing this problem.
Yeah, no doubt. So I'm gonna zero the rifle. It shouldn't take me that long. 0 to 100 yards, and then once I'm done with that, I'll drive over to the office.
Okay. So when you arrive at the office, you find that the Ford Bronco was in fact impounded.
Thankfully.
And that all of the shit you said about your coworkers on the way there was like totally unfounded.
Oh, so they actually already did it, like they're supposed to.
Oh yeah.
Oh great. Okay.
It's done. But there's a report on your desk and everything.
Fantastic. I want to read the report.
Yeah. Okay. So what it tells you is, it gives you just breakdown on the vehicle information. It is a rental.
Right.
And best they could tell, it was rented from like a couple towns over in South Dakota. But the plates were removed, and then fake temporary plates were like the kind that you would get if you bought a new car, the paper kind.
Right.
Were put on front and back. The real plates were in the back of the vehicle.
Okay. So we were able to track down the rental agency.
Yeah, but it looks like, based on the report, people followed up. The rental was made in cash. They don't have surveillance at the place, and so that's a dead end.
Right.
So in the vehicle itself, there were no prints.
No prints in a rental.
No prints.
Amazing.
Yeah. And there were a couple of duffel bags, so it looked like the luggage of two people. And in that luggage, there were a few bottles of water, like boots, pants, stuff like that. So you have, it's definitely both men, and you have their like sizes and stuff like that. But there are also windbreakers from a couple of different law enforcement agencies, fake badges, stuff like that. So very similar to what you saw at Donnelly's apartment.
Yeah. Okay.
The pictures on the fake badges, like looking at this stuff, they're not great. Like the pictures are of the guys you recognize. They're kind of grainy. The badges themselves are not of high quality, but you think if they were just flashing them, or if the people that were looking at them weren't law enforcement, they would probably pass muster.
Sure. And I'm guessing there's also no prints on any of the clothes, IDs, or water or anything in the luggage.
They're real clean.
Yeah, very impressive.
Yeah.
So it's entirely possible that these guys had their fingerprints removed. So what I'm going to do with that is, with the SPB, I'm going to upgrade that to an APB. And I'm going to basically put out a bigger profile on each of these guys, including like their aliases.
Okay.
And so, more pictures of them, how, shoe size, whatever, like all the information that I now have about them, and like the whole profile,
Sure.
Add that to it and make sure that everyone's aware. And I'm specifically for the FBI, I'm going to say impersonating an FBI agent, because hopefully that'll get their attention a little bit and motivate them to actually look out for this guy.
All right. Yeah, you got quite a bit of information. You have pictures of their faces, approximate heights and weights, all the stuff that I just described. So yeah, you push out that APB.
Yeah. And so that's at least statewide, and if I have access to some network greater than a state, like all surrounding states or something like that, if I have some avenue for doing that, then I do that as well.
Yeah, you do.
Now, who knows where these guys came from? They might not be local, but anyway, so I put it out.
Okay.
And then by the time I'm done doing that, it's probably about time for me to go head to the liquor store, grab a bottle of wine, and head over to Damien and Anita's place.
Okay. Yeah, so is this normally like you spend the afternoon together sort of deal, or like do you show up on time for dinner?
I probably show up like mid-afternoon and hang out with Damien, and then we have dinner.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? Just for fun, before I go, I'm going to call Tim and ask him if he wants to go. So I called Tim's house. Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what's Tim's voicemail situation?
Tim, for all of his computer smarts, never really got the hang of voicemail. So you call and there's like a lot of, it sounds like he's just kind of tapping on buttons and like, oh no, like, hey,
hang on, can I re-record this?
Hey, wait. Yeah, there's no actual content. You don't even, somebody who cold called this number wouldn't even know what Tim's name was by the time the voicemail went away.
Great. Okay.
So I don't leave a message, and I call his desk phone.
All right. So Tim, you're like really grooving right now.
Mm-hmm.
And like you're normally a hunt and pet guy.
Especially with one hand.
Even slower because you have one hand now, and that hand is covered in syrup. And so you're like, on the one hand, you're having these great ideas, but you're losing some of them because you just can't get them out fast enough.
Right.
And then as I don't know what you're listening to, like if you're jamming out to any 90s music, I think 1995, so it's like Maple Leaf Rag.
Yeah, exactly. Bach was really popular.
Yeah. And so you're like tapping at this keyboard with your sticky fingers, and then your phone starts going off.
Yeah. I'm listening to Maya Mane, by the way.
Okay, nice.
Okay, so I pick up the phone. Bars.
Hey, Tim, why are you at work?
My boss threatened to fire me if I didn't get this report done.
That makes sense. I would probably do the same.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you got any dinner plans tonight?
No, I should be, I think I'll be done by then, so.
Okay, well, you seem like you've been really stressed out and crazy this week, so I figured, it might be good for you to have a home-cooked meal tonight. My brother and sister-in-law, invite me over to dinner, or rather, I go over to dinner at their place every
you
Saturday.
invite yourself over to dinner, and now you're going to invite a guest with you.
Yeah, exactly. Would you like to
Perfect.
come by?
Absolutely.
Here's the address. And I give him the address.
Noise.
All right.
Okay.
Show up, like, whenever, I guess.
Do they know I'm coming?
I'll let them know.
Okay, cool.
The dinner's probably going to be around, like, 7.
All right. I'll be there.
All right, see ya. Click. Anita's going to
Okay.
love that, so.
So, you go to the liquor store.
Mhm.
What kind of wine are you picking up?
I'm going to get the good stuff, like $30 bottle of wine.
Wow.
And this is
$30
$1995.
back then. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
no
so that's
joke.
like $100 today.
Man. So you're at the liquor store. You're buying the most expensive wine they have.
I mean, it shouldn't be the most expensive.
Right? They like go to the glass case to get it out for
They
you.
go to the vault in the back.
Yeah.
Well, how much would
what-
$30 back then be in today's money?
Just over 60.
It's like $3,000.
Wow. Okay.
So what we looked up before we asked that question is that inflation
it's about double.
It's about double.
Right.
What do you normally bring? Is this your usual?
Oh yeah, no, this will not be surprising to anyone.
Okay.
And like Damien has politely, sort of gently asked me to bring something else, and Anita has very pointedly demanded that I stop just bringing a bottle of wine because they don't really drink very much.
Okay.
And I just a combination of not caring, forgetting, and not having a better option, compels me to just do the same thing every time.
Now, do you know anything about wine? I mean,
Yeah, I know a
like.
I like the idea
okay,
of
so
Simon
you-
buying a really expensive wine and then just drinking it from the bottle.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I've
you're
got
like,
a
oh yeah, I don't know what this is, but it's a nice one.
a somewhat discerning palate.
Okay. All right. Anything else, or is it that it? It's just one bottle of
Yeah, that's it.
something,
Yep.
red or white.
That would depend on what Anita is making tonight, which is something I would know. So,
Why would you know that?
because Damien would have told me. Because he knows that I'm going to end up just getting a bottle of wine to pair with it.
We'll say he told you that it's spaghetti tonight.
Spaghetti. That would be, well, assuming there's meatballs in that, that's red meat, so you would have red wine. But yeah, I'll just do red. I'll get a Merlot.
My favorite kind of
Okay.
wine. Red.
Red.
Yeah. Right. So this bottle is just called Red.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of they're early to the very minimalist
Right.
marketing. So it's a black label with just it just says Red in white text.
Perfect.
And it's good because it's expensive.
Right.
And yeah, so you pick that up, and I guess it's about time to head over if you want to like crash early and hang out with Damien.
Yeah, that's pretty normal. I just kind of show up whenever. I'm gonna look like an absolute fool if this spaghetti has like chicken meatballs or something, and I brought red wine.
Yeah, you're gonna get laughed right out of that dinner.
Yeah.
Okay, so Damien and Anita, they live they live in the newer residential part of town because they were able to buy a larger house there. Like the older part of town, it's a lot of these like historic buildings that don't get sold a lot and stuff like that. So,
Right.
They're a little farther out. They have they have a decent sized front and backyard. That they don't have kids, but you get the impression that Anita really wants them.
Yes. Well, they're Catholic, so
Right.
they're supposed to have
But it's
100.
they've been together for a little while now. They've been married for a few years and there are no kids. So
Suspicious.
but you're pretty sure Anita wants kids.
Right.
And Damien, on the other hand, has been very nonchalant. And like, oh yeah, that's so weird.
Uh huh.
So anyway, as you as you pull up to the house. It's about 5:30, and Damien is standing out in the front yard, and he is playing cornhole by himself.
Interesting.
Damien's very serious about cornhole, so he has these platforms built into the yard.
Oh, he has a permanent cornhole installation.
He has a permanent cornhole installation
At regulation
which you know
distance
from
and everything.
experience. Yeah, it's 33 feet. It's a real pain to mow around these because his yard is slightly sloped. So like the platforms are important because they keep everything level. He's been installing lighting over them so he can play at night.
I'm sure Anita's thrilled about this.
But anyway, so he's out there by himself, and he has a big, like a laundry hamper full of bean bags, so he can like stand at one board for a while and toss. And then he moves over. So he's out there drinking a beer, doing that when he sees you roll up, and he nods your way.
Brother! What's going on, Damien?
Oh, not much.
It's not how I expected him to sound. Hey.
So Damien is he looks similar to Simon, but he's about 3 inches taller.
Oh my.
Yeah. And he's also skinny, but he has like this weird little paunch.
Yeah.
So he's got this weird gut. And right now he's just wearing a t-shirt and jeans.
He looks like Sonor Card Gauge.
I'm gonna look up on the prom. Someone get him Chick-fil-A.
I'm gonna Chick-fil-A. Like that.
How's it going?
How's it going? Me lunch.
Yeah, you know, it's going. It's been quite a week. I mean, you work at the university. You probably heard about Thorley, right?
Oh yeah. It's a shame.
It sure is.
A lot of really broken up about
Yeah.
this.
My guess is that you didn't know him very well.
No, well I'm a STEM guy.
No, he's a history professor.
Is he? What?
Yeah.
I don't remember agreeing to this.
Yeah, that was his. He's a history professor at the university.
Well, as you know, I'm a history professor. What of a rivalry between our departments.
Well, you know how they tried to make STEM into STEAM for a while?
What was the A?
Art.
Art. Oh, but that doesn't
Makes
make any
no
sense.
fucking sense. Yeah, maybe
that real?
maybe now it's instead of STEM it's STEM, and because it's EH for history M. You know.
Uh-huh.
No, STEAM
Yeah,
was a
well-
real thing for a while, and I hope that it's gone away. But
That's completely ridiculous. That just covers the entire spectrum.
It doesn't
virtually.
make any sense at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, it really, good news for the history department softball team.
Damien, that's pretty cold-blooded.
Dorley
I'll
was
be
kind
honest.
of a power player on the archaeology team.
You know he's probably dead, right?
Yeah, well, I have a dark sense of humor,
Okay.
and he he gives you this weird laugh.
All right, whatever, Damien. How was your week?
It's how I deal with drama.
Sure. How was your week?
Oh, the usual.
This guy's a real sparkling
Lectures.
conversationalist.
Papers. I was spending a lot of time thinking about the Roman Empire.
Naturally, we all do.
Yes. But I mean, I do it professionally.
True. The rest of us are uninformed. But
Not just the 5 or 6 times a day that men on average think about the Roman Empire. For me, it's closer to 20 times a day.
Impressive. You write any papers to that effect, or are you talking about that in class right now?
Well, no, any paper about how often men think about it, that would be more of like a psychology or a sociology thing.
No, I meant about the Roman Empire itself, not our thoughts about them.
Oh, yes, I have a lot to say about them, and I do.
Okay, great. I'm gonna put this inside, and I hold up the bottle of wine.
And he looks at that and he goes, "Oh, red.
Yeah, it's supposed to be pretty
That's-
good.
That's expensive."
It is only the best.
Yeah, I thought I asked you to stop doing that.
Did you? And I turn around and walk in.
Okay. Well, when you walk in, you are immediately hit by the smells of baking bread, pasta sauce, meatballs being made. It smells delicious.
You immediately wander over and go, "Is there chicken in these?"
Yeah. Hey, what kind of meat is in these meatballs, Anita? Hey, Anita, what's going
So,
on?
Anita is she's a petite woman. She has shoulder length brown hair. She's wearing jeans and a flannel shirt, and she has an apron on, and she's hard at work in the kitchen. And when she turns and looks at you, she immediately looks at her watch and then gives this exaggerated sigh. And then looks at the wine and goes, "Oh, thank you."
Hey, no problem. What it smells great, by the way. What kind of meat is in the meatballs?
You can tell by the smell that it's chicken.
Dang it. I cringe. Ooh. Sorry, I assume.
She looks at the meatballs and then looks at the wine.
Just kind of scoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, my bad. Hey, just so you know.
Red wine doesn't go with chicken meatballs.
I do know that.
So as you're having this conversation, Tim walks in the door and he has 2 bottles of wine, and they just say "white" in red text on the front.
Are they the identical bottles, or is one? Are they different brands?
No, it's the same parent company that makes red.
Okay.
But yeah,
it's not a competitor brand.
No. But it's same styling, but 2 different whites, and he sniffs the air and goes, "Chicken meatballs," and then looks at the red that you have, and he you can tell that you've lost ground in his estimation.
How embarrassed is Tim or is Simon right now?
Devastating.
Honestly, not that embarrassed. It's whatever.
Right.
And he says, "Hey, Anita, by the way, I invited a buddy of mine over for dinner tonight. I hope you don't mind."
She huffs. And she puts her hands on her hips and goes, "Well, I don't know if we have enough." And you can see just based on the the meatballs that she's making that they have way too much food.
Yeah, Tim's a pretty light eater.
You can see that Tim has also he brought the to-go box that his pancakes had been in, so that he can take some spaghetti with him when he leaves.
So this is like a soggy cardboard box.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Stella's actually, they gave you a pizza box because it's all they had, so it's this extra large Domino's style box.
I like to think that it was just a really big pancake.
And she looks at both of you and just sighs and says, "Fine, well, please make yourself at home."
Thanks, Anita. Your hospitality is always first rate.
Tim starts rearranging the furniture.
Yeah. He's like, "Yeah, I don't like where this couch is." And just starts pushing it across the floor.
Yeah, they have hardwood floors. So how much are you scraping?
A massive amount.
Nice.
Hey, Tim, I'm going to be outside talking to Damien.
Oh, Damien. Is that the history guy?
It's the man you walked past on your way.
Yeah, I blew him off. Because I don't truck with that Steam bullshit,
You hear from outside. He says, "I'm not one of those Steam guys. I'm a history professor."
Well, that's one of the arts. So
is history one of the
I
arts?
don't think so. No.
I think you would get and the Bachelor of Arts versus Bachelor of Science. I think it would be in arts.
But I wouldn't say it is an art.
But yeah, I don't think it's considered an art.
My thing is STEM.
Here's the thing about Steam. It already doesn't make sense. You can lump anything you want in there.
You're right, yeah. Steam.
Steam, because we had football. Why not?
Yeah.
Hey, you guys want to come out here and play a game? Hey, Anita, you should come out here too.
I think she
Anita
might
just
be
like
thinking
this
maybe.
long-suffering woman who's
She looks exasperated and she's like, I no, I'm baking the bread right now. And the bread's just like in the oven and you can see the timer. Says it has like another hour to go.
Yeah. I'm sympathetic to Anita's plight here, but I shrug and say, I'm on my way, Damien.
Yeah, he shrugs and says, more bean bags for me.
Sure.
Yeah, so he takes you guys outside. Instead of shaking your hand, he goes right in for a hug. Tim.
Okay.
Okay. And it's a warm, inviting hug. And he says, as he's hugging you, it's nice to see Simon with someone. And then he
Tim does not respond
moves
to
over and
this.
says, "Do you guys wanna play on a team, or do one of you want to be on a team with? You probably want to be on a team with each other."
Yeah, well, you're like I didn't hear what you said, so I don't understand that you think that we're an item. So I'm just like, no, like that doesn't make sense for us to be on a team with you. You're way better than us.
He shrugs and he says, "Well, I'll just throw half as many bags."
Okay. He's still gonna beat us pretty bad, I guess.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Is this
think
like
I-
firearms?
I'm gonna need both of you to give me athletics
Oh
checks.
no, I was gonna say if it's firearms, I'm in good shape, but okay. Athletics. I have
Ooh.
gotten. Oh, go ahead.
barely failed. I got a 35 on a 32.
Oh, hold on. I got a 30. I got a critical success. 33
Oh
out
my
of 34.
Oh, damn.
I like how, due to how many I have failed, I actually have a higher athletic score than you now.
Yeah. Well, because you failed checks every time, and
Yep.
I've only failed like 3 checks ever.
This is one of those situations where you don't want to pass because it's just I assume not going to be that expensive to fail it, and you get the free point.
Yeah, I don't think you understand how high the stakes are right
yeah,
now.
no.
Takes out a knife, sticks it into the board.
Yeah.
We're playing for keeps.
Yeah, he says, "Why don't we make this interesting?" And he pulls out a gun. No, so he's Damien is telling you about STEM, and why he thinks this makes sense. It's clear that he's just taking it for granted that he's going to smoke you guys, and Tim, you're just sinking these bags. It's weird. Are you surprised that you're doing this well?
Yes. I'm in the zone.
So are you tossing them with your bandaged hand or with your good hand?
I'm putting them on, like I'm placing it on top of my foot and then just kicking it in.
Oh,
See,
okay.
Simon hates it when Tim does this, like when they're playing golf, when like he's doing poorly and he just like gives up on trying and starts doing something that's funny. And it's even more annoying because it's working right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how frustrated is Simon that he's trying to do a good job and failing?
It like he doesn't care at all about cornhole. In large part because his brother cares so much about it, he like deliberately doesn't care about it. But he's like a little competitive, and so like it's annoying because Tim is like this fat slob, and so losing Tim in anything even vaguely physical is just like that's not okay.
There are multiple instances where Simon does a toss and it looks like it's going to go in the hole, and Tim throws his bag at Simon's bag to hit it out of the way, and then Tim's goes in.
Actually, yeah. Well, it's it's pretty astonishing. And when you guys count up the points, Damien goes, "Oh my God, I haven't lost in a long time. Wow." And then he looks at Simon and says, "He's a keeper."
What, like you want him on your team or something? What do you? I don't get it.
Yeah. I mean, in a manner of speaking.
Okay, I mean, Tim, I guess talk to Damien if you want to compete with him or something.
Tim is getting an interesting vibe from Damien and is not happy about it. This is an aspect of Tim's character that we haven't really explored, but he's extremely bigoted.
I picked up on that.
Yeah. Not against gay people, but against historians.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Tim never thinks about the Roman Empire.
Against people who fetishize the Roman Empire. Yeah, so you guys just make small talk about the state of academia and which disciplines should be combined in and which ones shouldn't. And it seems like time just flies. You're having so much fun. And Anita comes to the front door and says, "Dinner's ready."
Sweet.
So Tim,
She does not hold the door open for you. She just walks back inside.
Tim kind of like fast walks, so he's the first one to the food and starts shoveling things into his to-go box, and then he puts that in the fridge, and then he makes his plate.
He put like half of it in there too, so there's like actually not a ton of food left.
Yeah, so she looks fucking furious. When she sees it, but it's also so incredulous that
That's how you do it.
She just doesn't know how to respond.
Yeah.
right, and so Damien just slaps Tim on the back and says, "You know, where can I have quite an appetite there?"
I'm a growing boy.
He says through burps.
Yeah. So he wiggles his eyebrows at Simon.
And Simon's he's just perplexed. He's like, "What? What are you talking?"
So right now Anita has the noodles and the sauce and meatballs and the bread and stuff like that set up on the kitchen counter, but clearly she means for you guys to put what you want on your plates and then go sit down at the dining room table.
Right. As I'm getting my plate, I say, "Hey, sorry about that, Anita. He's had a really tough week. That's why I invited him over here."
She says, "Well, of course our house is always open to, those in need."
Okay, great. And I fill up my plate and
and she looks meaningfully at this big painting they have over the dining room table, which is, you think, a duplicate of some of the stained glass windows you've seen in Two Kings of King's Vineyard.
Yeah, she takes her faith very seriously. Good for her. And so anyway, I'm gonna put my plate down, grab a glass of white wine. I'll open it if it hasn't already been opened. Well, it should have been in the fridge.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
Oh, classic Tim move.
Already fell.
Yeah.
But anyway, whatever, that's fine.
Look over at Tim, and he's mixing the white and the red together.
Oh no. I'll pour a glass for everyone and set them on the table.
Okay.
Because I'm polite.
How fat are you pouring?
I know how to act politely. Like I put the appropriate amount.
No, you know that Anita barely drinks at all.
Yeah.
And really looks down her nose at people who do.
Totally fine.
And Damien goes along with that, but then drinks a fair amount when he thinks Anita can't see him.
Okay.
So
Poor Anita.
Poor Damien. So you set out these glasses. So everyone's drinking white wine except for Tim, who has orange wine.
Okay.
Like some kind of pale reddish, yellowish wine. Damien looks at the two of you and invites you to hold hands around the table so he can say grace.
I do so. I imagine Anita recoils, touching hands with
Tim's
me.
bandaged hand.
Yeah, and my non-bandaged hand.
And as soon as it's done, people dig in. And Damien looks at Tim and says, "So, what happened to your hand?"
Oh, and Tim takes a moment to, like, he's trying to remember what his cover story is, and he's like, "Oh, I burned it when I was cooking. Forgot the burner was on."
Oh wow, what were you cooking?
Spaghetti. Just line of sight. He just looks down and goes, "Oh shit, spaghetti."
It's usual suspects. He's like finding stories in the room.
Okay, give me a. I really should just have a character sheet in front of me
Persuade.
so I know what the skills are. Give me a persuade check.
All right, this is another one that I am higher than I used to be. Ooh. Okay, that's a fail. Normal fail.
Yeah, so you like scan the room. You're like, oh, spaghetti. And he looks at you and shrugs and says, "Oh, okay."
Speaking of spaghetti, Tim didn't realize how religious these guys are, and he is wearing his Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster shirt.
Oh no!
Which, Anita doesn't seem too happy about it.
I don't think that existed at this time.
Oh, now we're gonna start caring about anachronisms. Okay. Tim is actually the founder of the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster.
Do you have your colander on your head?
No, I didn't bring that. But you can tell just if you look really closely. It's obvious that just like from the hair and maybe like a little, it's like somebody who wears goggles for too long and they just have like kind of a line that you can see where their skin's been compressed in that one spot.
So you have colander head.
Yeah. It's clear if you look closely and you know what to look for that Tim frequently wears a colander.
No one does.
No one does. Yeah. So you just have weird hair sticking out in random directions.
Yep.
So Anita will ask you, what is on your shirt?
Oh, that's the Flying Spaghetti Monster. Any more questions?
Is it like a band?
yeah, it's like a band. Tim is as much as he generally does not care for religion, he didn't like he walked in and went, "Oh no, these guys are like serious about it," and he doesn't want to offend them. But he's got the shirt on.
That's totally antithetical to being part of that church. The whole point is to mock religion.
Yeah, but it's mostly people that you don't know. I'm not gonna make fun of the
whatever
person
gets
who's currently
personal,
feeding
then,
me.
Yeah. That suddenly is not
you
okay
realize you desperately want to cover up this shirt, and so you go to tuck your napkin into your shirt, but they're not cloth napkins; they're like paper towels.
I spill spaghetti all over myself and go, "Oh no!"
God, when it's time to show up, man, that's disappointing. Tim. I try to change the subject and I just, "Hey, Anita, how was your week?"
Oh, it was busy.
Oh, busy? What were you up to?
Well, since you've apparently already picked occupations for these people, what does she do?
I think I said that she works at the church.
Oh, even better.
Let's see.
Like she's an administrator
fantastic.
there or something. I don't know.
I had a lot of administration to take care of.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Did you or anyone from 2KKV have any time to go join the search out there for Thorley?
I think that abbreviation's disrespectful.
I'm sorry. Anyone in the congregation or any clergy members, did they head out to the forest this week, to help with the search?
Oh, of course. So sad what happened.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. Tim was actually here when he was there when Thorley disappeared.
Is that right?
Yeah, it was pretty scary. Just
what do you mean? What happened?
Well, Tim considers for a moment how crazy he wants to sound.
Because it's obviously been a big concern so far is how couth or uncouth he appears in front of these two people.
Hey, as far as Tim is aware, he has done nothing untoward so far in this conversation.
How many glasses of wine has Tim had?
Tim is actually, the reason he brought 2 bottles is because he brought one for everybody else and one for him.
Nice.
And then he got excited when he saw the red because he was like, "Oh, more." It's been a long week. Yeah, Tim in a rare moment of clarity, says, yeah, he, wandered off at one point, just never came back. It was the craziest thing.
Hit us with another persuade.
Okay. Oh, well, I've already failed one, so I'd prefer to succeed. That's a normal fail. Just a pathological liar sitting at your table, covered in spaghetti.
Yeah, so she asks the question while your mouth is full of food. And so everyone, waits for you to chew it and swallow it, and you're like, yeah, I just, walked away. And it... you get the impression that everyone thinks you weren't really there, and this is a weird flex.
Oh, good.
That you're saying you were around when this happened.
Yeah.
And so she presses and says, even though it's clear that neither she nor Damien believes you, she's like, oh, that's so fascinating. Can you tell me more?
Well, it's part of an active investigation, so I don't know if I'm at liberty to discuss.
No, you can discuss. It's fine.
Oh, no.
You work with Simon at the police department?
Yeah, so Tim's really going to lean into this. He trusts Simon completely, so he knows Simon's going to back him up. He says, yeah, the police come to me sometimes asking for help. Sometimes I can, provide support that they just don't have in-house. Isn't that right, Simon?
Well, that's certainly been true this week.
Oh, so you don't work. You're not a policeman.
No, I work at Corvinian Tech. We commit war crimes. Or I'm sorry, we don't commit them. We enable the government to commit them.
So she...
What did we determine? Nerve gas that only kills puppies or something?
She puts down her fork and knife, and Damien laughs awkwardly, like he thinks you're telling a joke. And then when he looks at her, he's chastened, and he says, excuse me?
No, we're a defense contractor. So,
It's a little industry humor.
Yeah. I'm only following orders.
And
I shovel spaghetti into my mouth. Wash it down with a big gulp of wine.
They're both just staring, and
Simon is regretting bringing you over here. This is a huge mistake.
Yeah. So and after a straight minute of incredibly awkward silence,
Tim does not stop eating throughout this minute.
It's just no sound except Tim shoveling food.
I'll break the silence and say, Anita, what's anything interesting happening at the church? Any events coming up that we should be aware of? I'm sweating.
And she starts to answer, and then Damien says, some Roman aqueducts are still in use today.
David, it's fine.
And he seems like he's about to get started down this road.
I'm torn between not wanting to be impolite, letting Anita talk because I asked her a question, versus taking any possible avenue away from where we're at right now. So I'm I don't know what to do.
She looks at you, cuts off Damien and says, yes, our can drive is starting up soon.
Oh, how long is that running for?
2 weeks.
Okay.
So we're not accepting any cans that will perish before the 2 week point.
Sure, I think that's normally why it's a canned food drive, is because they
find
tend
a can
to last a
that's
while.
not going to last 2 weeks. Somebody didn't do a very good job.
That's an old
She,
can.
when you guys explain this to her across the table, she just stops talking and starts playing with just twirling spaghetti on her fork.
This is crashing and burning harder than any of the other dinners I've been to here.
Yeah, is it usually bad? Or is it?
It's usually like there will be some strained moments, but it's not terrible, or else I would stop coming. But this is pretty rough.
Damien says, you know, it's really incredible the way that they were able to measure angles and keep lines straight so that the water could flow from the source to you know, where people needed it.
And I just sigh. I'm like, yeah, go on, Damien. Tell me more.
This is one of the reasons why I think, you know, history belongs in STEM, because there was actually a lot of measuring going on.
Sure. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
And Anita like puts her napkin down on the table and says, "Excuse me." And she walks out of the room.
I kind of like lean across it because I assume Tim and I are like sitting on the long sides of the table, and then Anita and Damien were at the heads.
Right.
And I like lean across the table. I'm like, Tim, what are you doing?
I'm just trying to. These guys seem nice.
Yeah, I mean they are, but like, dude, you're acting kind of crazy.
Well, you've been telling me I'm crazy all week, so this shouldn't be surprising.
Honestly, this might have been a bad idea.
Nah.
Damien looks at you and he says, "Is this really the place for you know, for you to have one of your spats?"
And
I'm trying to be understanding. But you've got to understand that Anita, you know, Anita's she obviously takes issue with what's going on here.
And so I'm still in the dark, like I don't understand what he's saying. And I'm like, David, what are you talking about? I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with my pal here.
He says, "You know, I'm gonna support you no matter what," but and he just shakes his head and then takes a sip of his wine.
I just like squint at him. I'm like, I mean, I appreciate that, but not sure how it's relevant. Anyway, shut up, Damien. And
you know, Anita and I have gone to therapy together, and it's really helped, as you can see.
Sure. Anyway, Tim, can you just try to be like a little more like polite, I guess?
Oh, sure. I mean, I guess I'm not. It's not clear to me that I've been being impolite, you know.
I see. I look at your shirt that is covered in spaghetti.
Look over at the fridge. It has a giant pizza box full of spaghetti.
And you weren't even able to close the fridge because it's like it's such a big box. It was just sitting open. Tim, that was like your 6th glass of wine. You might want to slow down.
No.
Okay.
No. Tim does actually put the wine glass down and say, like, okay, yeah, maybe I've had a bit too much.
Damien gets up and says, I'm gonna go check on Anita.
Okay. And
he
I'm like
shuffles out of the room.
Just gonna sigh and just start poking at my spaghetti and actually eating it.
Tim kind of starts looking at the the spaghetti remaining on their plates and is kind of like eyeing it.
Don't you dare. Tim, there's more on the counter. If you want more, you can just go get some.
Yeah, but this is right here.
Tim, if you ruined my ability to get dinner here, I'm gonna be really annoyed.
So you can hear them talking in the other room.
I don't want to get up, but I want to like strain to hear them.
Yeah, so they're whispering, but it's loud.
It's the whisper shout. Yeah.
So it's you can't tell what's being said, but they're clearly arguing. And after a few minutes, Damien comes out, looks pretty unhappy, and he says, "Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Anita gets these migraines.
Also, I have a headache.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Should we go?
Yeah, I think that would be best."
Okay.
All right.
Sorry, Damien.
Tim grabs his pizza box out of the fridge and says, yeah, thanks for the food. I'll see you next week. Says it loud enough to make sure Anita can hear him.
Looks kind of stunned.
And I wait for Tim to leave.
Is Tim waiting for Simon to leave?
No, Tim's gonna walk out the door.
Yeah. And once he's closed the door, I go, hey,
So wait,
Damien,
I gotta clarify. Did Tim bike here with a pizza box
Oh, that's a good question.
with one hand?
Yeah. No, Tim drove, I guess.
Okay.
and now he's like buzzed to driving home.
Yeah.
But
It's just 6 glasses of wine. You can't get drunk off of wine.
that's true. And so once he's gone out the door, I'm like, hey, Damien, I'm really sorry. He had like a really bad week. Burned his hand, and his boss killed himself, and then the Thorley thing and everything else. So I thought this was something that he could really use, but this ended up being kind of a disaster. I apologize. I'm not bringing it back.
And so now Damien looks really conflicted, and he says, listen, these things happen in relationships, and it's important that you be there.
Yeah, no, that's definitely his problem.
Look, I've been there before, and I'm telling you, if it matters to you, stick it out.
It doesn't.
And he shrugs and says, okay.
Anyway, pass my apology on to Anita, please. I assume she doesn't actually have a migraine, but she probably doesn't want to see me. That's fine. I am legitimately sorry, and this won't happen again. I promise. And you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring food next week for sure.
Yeah, I don't think you should come with us tomorrow.
Okay, that's fine.
Let's just let this blow over.
That sure, no problem. You need any help cleaning up, or you want me to just get lost?
No, I want you to get lost.
All right, I'm getting lost. I'll see you, Damien.
All right.
And I skedaddle.
Okay. And like you were, as soon as the door shuts, you can hear them start fighting.
I want to walk slowly away, and I see if I can hear what they're shouting about.
You do notice on your way out that Tim, before he left, had turned some of the crosses upside down.
Of course he did.
So you can. The gist of the argument that you hear is, she's upset that she has to host you all the time because you're such a fuck up, and he's throwing it back at her that she's the one who's like so invested in fixing people and stuff like that, and so shouldn't his own brother be a priority? And it's not a good thing.
Yeah. It's not like a secret that Anita doesn't particularly care for me, but it hurts a little bit to hear it.
Yeah.
So I kind of just shove my hands in my pockets and get into the car.
Right.
And
so you get in the car and you put on like Dust in the Wind.
Yeah.
And that is a good place to end this session.
I'm glad that the first session back was basically a filler episode.
Well,
Hey, I like to think of it as world building.
Yeah.
It's character building.
Next episode, we're going to the beach.
Yeah. It's going to be the sauna.
You guys are learning how to drive.
Yeah.
Legendary.